Shalom, everybody. Yahweh Hashem Shabbat to the brothers. Yahweh Shemalatham Hashem Shabbat to the sisters. Friday class, Hebrew. All right. For many of you out there, it's your first time to the class. Welcome. We're open to answer any question. Right. Usually, I would answer any question. The question that we want to focus on is Hebrew. Scripture breakdown class was yesterday, right? If you put a scripture to breakdown, I might break it down into Hebrew, right? Oh, they're big up to whoever liked the video just now, right? Like, subscribe, and share this video, right? Share those who you think might like Hebrew. Share those who want to debate in Hebrew, friends, foes, enemies, whoever, right? So today I'm gonna go into speaking some Hebrew. I want us to have a way that we could easily say things in Hebrew, or always pose my class into a form where Hebrew is very easily understood. All right, big up sister Raya there, right? Nazamana
50.
I wore Palad,
Northern California,
and that says Jermaine. Big up to the young man Jermaine, Texas, man. Big up Jermaine in the building. Big up Texas, man. All right, good. Jermaine, Iowa, Palad, Nazamana. Any question you want, please feel free to ask. Anybody else, online. I don't keep you white, Chinese. This box. We answer this chat box here, right here, right? Good. Passover is coming up. Pesach is coming up. All right. Pa-sa-ka. Right. Pa-sa. Right. So you'll see me write these characters over here. We don't call these letters in Hebrew. We call these characters. Right. This pa right here. This pa is a mouth. Pa is a mouth. Probably do it like this, right? Instead of writing the whole alphabet out, I'll still probably get the Hebrew alphabet sheet just so we can understand, right? But just rolling with the flow, rolling with the punch, right? We got this sa right here, sa, which is for samak. Samak means to establish. All right, and then ka, this right here, the ka, this is for ka wa ma, right? And kawama is a fence, right? Kawama is a fence. Now, good. Now, so these words that I wrote here, the English and the Hebrew words I wrote on here, right? Each Hebrew character are the sounds of the first syllable. Listen to me clearly, right? And we should write it. Are the sounds of the first syllable of the Hebrew word that they come from. So pa is from pa, right? Sa is from samak. Pa is from kawama. I even hope to, Lord willing, one day upgrade our alphabet chart, right? You gotta go to the right channels, right? And instead of say abagada, I want to say alat payat gamal dalat, right? So we have a vocabulary, because the vocabulary is very important. Because without these vocabularies, you can't say mouth, right? Mouth doesn't come up everywhere in your talk or in the scriptures, right? But you have a mouth, and you might have a child, and you might want to tell him, "Hey, stop clapping your mouth when you eat. Keep your mouth closed when you eat." There might be things you want to say, right? But for those things, to say those things, you need vocabulary, right? We need vocabulary. And we need common vocabulary for me. Yeah, my son drive. He's like, damn, he sound a little rusty over there. Force. Throw out here to them. Throw out. That's kid, man. I mean, we can pick up the family. I mean, okay. For those who may not know, for those who may know anyone out there in Haiti, right? Yatazar's coming to Haiti. I didn't know. He didn't tell me. He didn't tell me.
It's coming. It's coming.
It's rumored. It's rumored that allegedly, you know what I mean? The brother will be down there with other brothers, right? In a time soon to come, right? Lord willing, right? Yeah, right, right? Uh, we got an alphabet sheet. Okay. So the letters that I wrote on the board just now, right, are from these, right? So in Hebrew, there is 22 letters, right? And we read from the right to the left, right? So even as I'm on the board over here, in English, you read like this. You read like pa, sa, ha. Pa, a, sa, a, ka. But in Hebrew, you read like this. Pa, sak. You read across this way. In English, you read left to right. Hebrew, you read right to left, right? You read the other way. Okay? If I can locate those letters right here, the pa that we're looking at right here. There's the where's the sa? The sa's right here, and the ka should be down here, right? Ka, right? So up here, we didn't write out what each things are, but what we wrote out was, like we said, what you need to read and speak Hebrew is the sound of each Hebrew characters, and these sounds are from the words that the character is named after. All right, that makes any sense? Right? The sounds of each character are from the words that they are named after, or what they represent. So this right here is a cow. I is for Allah, which is a cow. Right? Ba is for Bayath, which is a tent. Ga is for Gamal, which is a camel, the hump of a camel in the air. Da is for Dalat, which is the door of a tent. Ha is for Hana, to say a hand presenting something, to say Hana. Wa is for Wow, which is a fish hook. Za is for Zayan, which is a weapon. Ka is for Kawama, which is a fence. Ta is for Tana'ah, which is the bottom of a basket. Ya is for Yad, which is your hand, right? Particularly pointing to your forearm, based on what we've seen from the what book wrote that again? They show the hand like this. They always show the hand and how it evolved, and it's like this, like a chicken wing like this. And they put the line in it to say this part right here, right? And then you have the where we at? After the ya for yard, you have ka for cup, which is the palm of your hand. And it's the figure of the palm in your hand, right? That those two lines right here is these same two lines in the figure right here, the palm of your hand. Good. La is for lamad, which is a staff. The dictionaries, right? They call it a goad, right? Goad. That's something that we don't say today, but it's to say the thing that the farmer would use to lead the cow about, right? The cow might have a hook in his nose, and he might put the stick in his hook, and you lead him about, right, with a short little stick, right? You know, all our culture is built in agriculture, right? Okay. Ma is for mayam, which is water. Na is for nawan, which is the sprouting of a seed. The figure is roots sprouting out of a bottom of a seed. Sa is for samak, to say establish. This is the figure of a skeleton of a flag. Right? I'm trying to make it just more legible, right? That's okay. There we go. Right. Start for Samak. This is the skeleton of a flag. I is for iron, right? Which is an eye. The paw that we got on the board over there is a mouth. Taza, right? Taza, right? It's from tazad to say side. And kwa is for quam. This is the figure of a sun rising on the horizon, right? Rising on the horizon, right? Is the word rising from horizon? Is horizon related to the word rising? See if we can get an etymology on a horizon, right quick, right? That's qua, right? Qua is for quam. Quam means rise. Ra is for ra'ash, which is your head. The top of your head, that pointed part, the side right there is your chin, and that long part there is your neck. Right? Sha is for shun, right? Sha for two front teeth, and tha is for thou. Thou, as in X marks the spot. All right, good. So we understand that. And of course, you have the handwritten transliteration, right? Which is not your culture. This was not your culture, right? This is a writing that we formed in slavery to try to have a writing style that was kind of like the oppressor, being that in captivity we looked down on our own writing. We looked at this like graffiti, right? We looked at this as graffiti. We looked down on it the same way how you look at, people don't like you and your way. They didn't like your way back then, and you created another style in being coons to the Assyrians, and this is the Assyrian Hebrew. All the Hebrew records today are written in that form. You need to know that writing form to read the records, but you don't take this as your language. You don't I would never put this on a garment. I never put this on a garment. I never put this on a T-shirt. And when I do see someone put it on a T-shirt, usually someone who leaves the school. It's someone who just doesn't value the ancient thing. Just doesn't value. The scripture says, "Seek the old path." All right. Okay. Good. Okay. Love yourself. Love your culture. Love that thing that Jacob had. All right. The thing that Abraham had. The thing that Isaac had. And the thing that when the Negroes loved the heathens, they ditched that thing. Don't ditch your culture. All right. Right. Why trimmest thou ways for love? All right. Okay. Okay. I got some phrases I wanna. Is there no questions online? Is there anything?
Yeah, a few questions.
Okay.
That question got asked in a lot. Rising.
Rising. Okay. Good. Okay. Those.
We have a question from young man Jermaine. He said, "How do you say Jeremiah in Hebrew?"
Good question. Jeremiah. What I need to is I need these Strongs, not Strongs. These Donovans. Jeremiah. Right. A man of the Lord right there. In the Apocrypha, I don't even see this. Maybe the writing is too. That's lucky, y'all. All right, Jeremiah. Oh, it's even worse. Jeremiah. It should be right there. It should be a burgundy book because the cover's rubbed off. It should be right there with all the fat books in the middle right there. Right? In the Apocrypha, Jeremiah is Jeremy. Jeremy. I know you know somebody in your neighborhood and your job called Jeremy. Jeremy is from Jeremiah. Okay? And it's gonna be in the Hebrew. Yeah, okay. Now we got a thing called transliteration, right? So it's very good to know too. Alexa, what is the definition of transliteration?
Transliteration is the act of representing letters or words in a different alphabet or script.
Okay, there we go. So it's the representing of letters in a different alphabet or script. representing letters in a different alphabet or script. Now, of course, we know that there was no J before the 16, 1700s. The letter J did not exist. As a matter of fact, the letter J was created on purpose to hide the Lord's name. So you said Jehovah and you didn't say Yahweh. Because when you Negroes call on Yahweh, right, the heathen who are in charge, their empire goes down. Just like in Egypt. He said, hey, the Israelites called upon the Lord's name in Egypt, and the Lord had respect unto the Hebrews. Right, and from there, the Lord rose up Moses, spoke to him in the burning bush, told him to go give a chat to Pharaoh, and then next thing you know, locusts and plagues and famine and all kind of stuff. I don't think it was famine. It was locusts and plagues and boils and hail. Right, good. Right. Just like in America, we're gonna have COVID and World War III and the cicada, right? And the tariffs. The tariffs is bringing something heavy to our reality right now. You got it right there, Yetazar? Okay, so what? Do you want to read it?
You want me to read Jeremiah?
Yeah, Bible shot, right?
Jeremiah, Hebrew. They say Jeremiah, Jeremiah. The life of Jeremiah. Jeremiah was one of the greatest Hebrew prophets. He was born into a priestly family of Anathoth, a Benjamite town 2.5 miles northeast of Jerusalem. His father was Hilkiah, not to be confused with the high priest Hilkiah mentioned in 2 Kings 22 and 23. Because of the autobiographical nature of his book, it is possible to understand his life, character, and times better than those of any other Hebrew prophet.
Okay, so this is the man from the tribe of Judah that lived in the Benjamin town. Is that what it's saying, or what is it saying?
So he was one of the greatest. He said he lived in a Benjamite town, but he didn't say he's from the tribe.
Okay. We don't. That still don't mean he's from the tribe of Benjamin, because you had the cats and judges. They were but maybe it could be right, because the Levites didn't have their own country, right? I remember in Judges, there was a brother from the tribe of Levi that lived in Ephraim. He lived in the land of Ephraim. I don't know. All right. It doesn't give a clue over the tell what the name Jeremiah means, right? I know that Ram is it right here. Right, that Ram is it right? Is that main word, is the root word that we're gonna hone into right there. I'm gonna put Jeremiah in here just to make sure. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. There we go. Jah will rise. Right, 7311. Okay, so what? Okay, so it can be a little more transparent, right? Right. The Lord's name is in that last part right here. This is the abbreviation for the Lord's name. Right. This is what you say when you don't want to say the Lord's name in vain. You say Yah instead of Yahweh. All right. So I have an app here. Right. I have this Bible app. I have many Bible apps on my phone. I pull all of these simultaneously in class, in Jeremiah Hammond's class, on every given day. They say, let me get this scripture, and give me that scripture, and that scripture, and this scripture. I go 1, 2, 3, and I put them all, put them in the apps, right? I go to the one with the Strong's Concordance, right? And then in Jeremiah chapter 1, I can click on the name. I click on the concordance code of the name, right? Right? I click on that, and it's gonna give me a description, a synopsis of his name. All right. These are very important tools to have if you really want to get this Hebrew, right? I do things like this all through the Sabbath service. You see what I'm saying? I'm sitting in the Sabbath service. I'm listening to the teachers teach. I'm following along in English, reading every single word that comes up in the Hebrew. And from that is how I teach these classes, right? Okay. So 7.3 7311. So what I do now, I take that code. H, that H means Hebrew. In other parts, you see G for Greek. Right? I put up here, right? 7311. Right? 7311. And I search. Right? It's going to give me the word for 7311. Right? It's going to give me all the scriptures that it comes up in. Right? And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to click on any one of these scriptures. I'm going to go there, and there's the word. Right? And they gave me a word that is, this is Strong's now. Strong's is not accurate, right? Strong's is not an Israelite. He's not. Strong's is not an Israelite. He's not from Jerusalem, right? But here's the research. It led to this word, Rawam. And Rawam, I don't look at all of this. I don't look at none of this. I take into account the clue, right? To be high, actively to rise. And what I do is I skip that and I go to the King James usage. All right, there we go. So it's not up. Up is Ilah. Up is also rise, which is Kwam. It's really exalt. When you exalt something, you make it high, right? Now from there, right? From there, we have the Ram right here, Ram, right? So now with that now, with the clue, Ram without the wa, instead of Rawam, it's Ram, right? That would be the root. For example, or I say all the time, wa. I'm using bad pens. So wa in the middle of a word is like an ing. It's just like, it's not always it, but things are developed in that way. The same how we are in a building, where you see INGs are doing work, but we're in a building and nobody's building the building, right? There's a way how the world speaks. All right. Ram is the root word. Ram is the root word. All right. Ram is the root word. Right. We got Ra and we got Ma. Right. Ra is Ra'ash. Right. Ra'ash, which is head. Okay. Ma is for Mayam. Mayam, which is water. Okay. What could this mean? I don't know. So now, because there's nothing written to say why these letters are put together. So the way I put it was funny, right? I learned that from Latino teachers. They make you learn better like that. It makes me laugh, right? But we got Ra is a head, because your head is always high, and you got water on the ground, and then you got water on the mountaintops. This is the water that is high. This is the water you drink from up high. This water you can drink from a low river, from the valley. And then there's a water that you can drink from that is up high. What does that mean? I don't know. Right? What can it mean? You got the high water, you got the low water. Which is the better one? I'm gonna give you a clue. Right? This is how we learn. This is how we learn Hebrew. We learn Hebrew by coming here knowing nothing. Remember, we moved here, 2279, and Captain Zazak said, I need you guys to pick a class to teach. Right? And one guy picked this class, another picked class, and then this class fell on me, right? And I came here knowing no Hebrew. Right? And then through these workings, Hebrew grew on us. Right. You see what I'm saying? Who likes filter water here? Filter water. Water from the river that they just filter into the pipe. Who likes that? How much does it cost on average?
Filtered water?
Filtered water.
When you see filtered water.
Filtered water. Poland Spring.
Poland Spring.
Poland Spring. Y'all like Poland Spring? You fancy it? You love it?
Yeah.
Do you love it more than glacier spring water? You never had the ooh. You know why you can't have it? Because we are poor. You see what I'm saying? You got Polish spring water, which is just pipe water, right? We all drink that, right? But then you got the what's the fancy waters? The Fiji. What's the other one? The Evian from the French Alps, high up in the French Alps. You see what I'm saying? You know. And then that word is now in the Hebrew together now is to say exalted. Right? Meaning this one is just higher than the other one. And that's what they say about Jeremiah, right? Yah is to say he, and that Ram is to say exalt, right? Ram is to say exalt. Let me write exalt over here. Exalt. Right? And then that Yah is to say is an abbreviation. Right? Abbreviation of God. Right? He is exalted by God. That's it. That's it. All right? You know, this is the no different than you got the dirt. And everybody lives at dirt. But then there's one man that I lift up from the dirt. Right? And we call that man Adam because he was raised from the dust. You understand? Well, Jeremiah was exalted. Right? If everybody is Poland Spring, then this brother is Fiji. His brother is Evian. Okay? Good, right? So is that answer the brother's question? I don't know. What does his name mean? Nobody knows what his name means. Right? We read the Zondervan. The Zondervan is not explaining what his name means. All right? If we go to a question the answer, he's okay?
Yeah.
Big up, come up here. Big up, swap your Allah. You got questions on what's going on there. All right? Jeremiah, incorrect. Okay, well, it's an assumption, right? You know. But his name is Jeremiah. That Yah on the end is to say God, all right? So I think I still got it on my phone, right?
Trinidad in the building.
Big up Trinidad, man. Yeah, man. Big up Trinidad, man. Yeah, man. And big up all the brothers out there, man. I hope the brothers out there doing well, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay. Good. So right quick, right? Just another look at the concordance app, right? Right? That Yah is to say Jah, right? As a matter of fact, just look at the Hebrew spelling up here, right? Right? This Hebrew spelling up here, that's a ha. It's not a ka, all right? It's not a ka, right? I know. Okay, I know names like some brothers are learning names by viewing the UPK, and they'll see names like, Captain like Tazar Yak. So there might be a question about what was Ha and what is Yak, right? Captain Tazar Yak's name, right? I'm gonna write Tazar Yak on the board. I'm gonna still write the captain because we was raised to never say his name without the captain. We are a family order in here, right? Tazar Yak. Right, I'm gonna write the captain right here. Saran. Saran is how you say captain. Saran. Saran is captain, all right? Okay, captain. And that Saran comes from the word sar. Sar means to turn. Okay? Your brothers in Hebrew Academy know that. You hear that ever so often. You hear it at Passover. The N in Saran makes it a noun. Right? It's no longer an order, it's now a noun. All right? Because the captain, he turns heads. He says, Everybody go this way. Everybody some camp over here. We all turn over here. Or you can say, you know what, guys, stop. Let's go over here, right? And then everybody go over here because that's what a captain does, right? He turns brothers in different directions. Do this, do that. You, fire department. You, what's the other, coastal line radio department, or what's the other departments? The sign department, the camp sign departments. You know what I mean? Everybody got different departments, right? Okay. And now your head was just being a reader, and next thing you know, you're not reading no more. You hammering signs now. You turn your head into a whole different craft. All right, good. Captain Dazariak's name comes from the word Tazarak. Tazarak. Right? Tazarak. Right? Tazarak. Right? The Yah in his name is in the sense, right? Yah in the middle of a word, right? Middle, right? Mid is from the sense to say how we would say ed at the end of a word in English, right? The same way how we got wa, which is like an ing, right? Wa in the middle of a word, only in the middle of a word now. Wa in the middle of a word is like ing in English. Ya in the middle of a word is like ed at the end of a word in English. All right? In other words, past tense. Past tense. All right? Ing is to say doing, right? What you're doing, right? Actively present, active, right? And ed is to say, what's already been done. Past tense. Let me not put done. Let me put past tense. Right? Very crucial thing to understand. Right? Past tense. We don't know, we don't told everybody that Shalom is not a Hebrew greeting. Right? Not a Hebrew greeting, right? Not that, not that it's a world changing. It is a world changing thing if we're all to be together in one speech. The Lord said in Ephesians that we should have one speech. That's how we create unity. We all have to say the one faith, one baptism. What does it say again, Yatazar? Ephesians 4:4, if you remember.
One spirit.
One spirit. One faith. One baptism. And one body. Right? If we're all in the same body, then you all sing the same song. Because if I want to sing, I sing a tune, and my feet tap to the beat, and my hands wave to the beat. Because I'm in the same, and my head nods to the beat, and my body will wiggle to the beat, because we're singing the same song. We're in accordance with each other. If we say shalom and you say shalom, we're not in the same body. You're singing that you got different lyrics than us.
Right.
You know what I mean? Our lyrics is not flowing on the same beat.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And for other things now, mainly for blaspheming the Holy Spirit. Yeah, Sakari went down, and they were the one pushing that shalom garbage, anyways. Right? It wasn't formed by them. It was formed by other infidels called the House of David. Right? And then pressed on further by another set of infidels. Right? That broke off from them. Right? And Sakari embraced what they were doing, and then made it seem like the thing that they were doing was equal to us. And the Lord showed you that they were not.
That's right.
You see what I mean? It's simple as that. Right?
Scripture.
Please.
Ephesians 4:4. There is one body and one spirit.
There we go.
Even as ye are called in one hope of your calling. Verse 5. One Lord.
Hold on. What?
One Lord.
One Lord, one Master?
One Lord.
Now, this is tricky for people who don't understand how the Lord works. One Lord means one Lord and his servants and their servants and their servants, who all comply and have consistent communication. That's why around these same chapters right here, it says, and to have good communication. These sacrifices, the Lord is well pleased. You must have good communication. If you don't have good communication, you will divide.
Right.
And Sakari is a divide or from other divide or from other divide or from other divide, because they're not in a body with everybody in the world and with us. And we are not, we say all the time, we are not affiliated with any Israelite group. We do not want to take accountability for your actions in your disobedience to the Lord. All right, please.
Their imagination.
And for their strange imagination. Very, very, very strange. All right? Yeah.
Now I got their imagination in my head. I would have never known.
Right.
What that was.
Until we would have even thought of a thing.
Right.
Right? But let's keep it Hebrew though. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, let's keep it Hebrew, all right? We got Captain Cutters on me. If anybody wants the full breakdown of what we're talking about, go check out Crossline Radio last night. Captain Cutters are breaking everything down. General Hammond's class today. They put that out flat and heavy, right? But let's focus on the Hebrew in here, right? Because we will talk about that, and then that'll be the end of Hebrew class. It'll be 1 hour of Sakari and their tennis kits. All right, no problem. Okay, all right. Go on the Yeftazar, please. Anyone that scripture that we done?
Country. One Lord, one faith, one baptism.
Good. Let me get Numbers 16 and 3. Okay. We want to get the word for Tazariak too. For the root word of the word from Captain Tazariak's name. Big up the Captain Tazariak. Right? Never stops working, always working. You got a question? Okay, please.
You see how Tazariak is written, right? When you break it down, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not like pronounced Tazariak, it's Tazara.
Right. So this is not Tazariak. This is Tazariak. This is what we did with.
The Hebrew how you get his glory.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's not Tazariak.
Yeah, this is Captain Tazariak up here, and then I brought this down. Let me put an arrow right here so it's not as I don't confuse nobody. Right? We're breaking it down to get the roots. So anything that I always do in Hebrew, I look for the root, because that's how I understand things. Like you cannot learn calculus 401. You have to learn before even calculate. You got to go to prerequisite. You got to go to simple math. Math 101. When you get math 101, then you can get to math 201. Right? Tazariak is math 201. Right? To understand math 201, we need to get back to math 101.
So then how would you write that? Tazariak in Hebrew?
Oh, in Hebrew, you put an A here. You'll be Tazariak. But names are not made like words. You know what I mean? Names are, in other words, there's a famous name called in the Bible called Shamgar. Right? Shamgar is from Shah, Ma, and Gar. Shah, Magar. But a father alters the sounds of his children's name. Right? And instead of saying Shamagar, he says Shamgar. There's another famous example. You had a name called Yachanan. Yachanan is, whose name is Yachanan again? Jakanan. Jakanan? It's a popular name. It's a popular name in the Old Testament to say Jakanan, right? And then in the book of Luke, right, the angel came to Mary's family, right? The Levite family side of the family, right? And they say, you know what, we're gonna name him this same name, which means joy. It's from the name Jakanan, but we're gonna write it a little different. And they say, you know what, we're not saying Jakanan, we're gonna say Yahana. And then they said there's none of the brothers been named in this way in all of history. I'm paraphrasing. Nobody in Israel has ever been named this name. And from Jokhanan, it became Yahana because they changed the sounding of the name to make him unique. All right?
So you took out the Yah to break down the name because you already knew what Yah was. And then,
No, the Yah is past tense. So just imagine this.
yeah, so that's why you took it out.
I took it out.
Take it out.
Yeah.
That's the
The
word.
root word.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right? The root word of every Hebrew word is always 2 or 3 characters. So we got 3 characters here. In another case, we might have 2 characters, right? But the root word is never 4 characters. So Tazarya, right? Taza, right? Taza is 1 character, right? Ra, Ya, and Ka, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4, Hebrew, they can't see, right? Can they see? You can see a little bit. I don't want to move the camera. They can see a little bit, right? Right. If you see any Hebrew word that is 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, yeah, it needs to be broken down if you want to get the root. It's not the root. It's a built word. It's a compound word. If you see 1, 2, 3, 4. If you see 1, 2, 3, then be okay. This is possibly the root word. Okay. Unless, and then if you see 3, the only way this could not be the root word if the first one is a preposition, right? I want to get the list of prepositions. I don't want to write them on the board. We're going to take all day. We're going to learn nothing if you write them on the board. Let me see if I got a form in here. Right, I got a form on my phone. I don't want to go to the phone yet. I want to see if I got something printed here. Right, if not, I'll go to the phone. Right, so it's not in here. Let's go to the phone. Eight o'clock. We're doing good progress. I wanted to get. I forgot to get Captain Tazariak's name. The root. Okay, well, we're gonna get the prepositions. Let me just get that right there. Okay. Okay, here we go. Before I get the list of prepositions, this is my Strong's Concordance app on my Amazon Kindle. I believe I bought this thing for $1.99. Right, we spend $1.99, anywhere doing anything, any given time, paying for a parking ticket, right? Not to say that money is easy to come by, but there's things that we spend at $2 on by accident all the time. All right. Tazarak right there, right? This one right there, concordance code 6873. As a matter of fact, if this writing is too small, I'm gonna go back into my Bible app and I'm gonna put that same code. Let me see the code again. It was 6873. I'm gonna put 6873 in my Bible app. 6873. All right. And we're gonna get it comes up one time in Isaiah. All right. It comes up one time in Isaiah. It comes up one time in Zephaniah. All right. And that word is to say roar, or cry out. The mighty man shall cry bitterly. Right? Yeah, roar. Shall prevail against his enemy. That's Captain Desire. Ain't that him? Because Captain Desire prevails over some enemies, boy. You know what I mean? I'm talking about undefeated. I'm talking about battle every single day in the Bible. You know what I mean? And undefeated. Right? Okay. Raw. Good. Now, the concept of this roaring is that on a castle there is a man who calls for war, and at that castle and at that gate, right? You know, those gates were built based on men that saw the necessity to build that gate from these roars. You have a man that would be called a watchman, and he will stand in a watchtower, and an enemy will come, and he would have to yell out, "Danger coming! Prepare the fort." Okay, as that word is made to be the word for stronghold. Let me get the word first, right? Tazar. Hold on. Okay, so even in the concordance, right? We got 6873 for that same word, and then down to 6877. All right. It goes and says a citadel, or a high place, or a hold. Right. It's referring to a place. This is a kind of place where this word is built off of this word. All right. Good. Everybody understand? A little complicated? Might be a little complicated. All right. But you get to understand that this is from the word roar. This is from the word roar. And it's specifically roaring against enemies. And then this is for strongholds. A stronghold where? For what? A stronghold against his enemies. All right. I'm gonna tell you this. That tazar right here. That tazar is to say a man is dead. That's what a tazar right there. That tazar right there, right, was built from a man lying down on his side because he's dead. Right? The tazar, right? Tazar is from tazar. And that tazar is the word, how you get the word side, right? That the word side is speculated to come from this word tazar, right? It's a man lying on his side because he's dead. Okay? Okay? That car right there is the fence or the wall in a stronghold. All right? And that ra right there is the man up on high that makes that call from his mouth, which is on his head. Okay? Good. If not, then what is it? Right? We take speculations too, right? We'll compare, right? Okay, but that's how Hebrew words are built, right? You have a word means this, you have a word means that, and you have a word like that, and then you put them together, like our rappers put verses and similes together. That's our way. Our way is to say, yeah, this is a whip. Well, I whip ride. I whip that don't that I whip the thing, whip the ride. You know what I mean? There's a way how our culture is built, and that same mindset is this mindset. And because of that, nobody can understand the Bible except the ISP can. That's a fact. Nobody. I was talking to a brother today, and he says, "Yeah, I've been the same verse they give me. I've been hearing from the Bible, but you don't know what it means. You don't know what it means because you've been viewing the Bible through American Caucasian taught white eyes. You have to look through these. You have to look at these things through black eyes. If you look at these things through black, Negro, Latino, Native Indian eyes, then you're gonna get it. You're gonna understand what it's talking about. You're gonna put the things together the way how we've always put things together. Okay? Good. I want to get my list of prepositions and possessives. Okay. On to my Lashawan Qadash segment. Okay, good. Well, I hope it's not too dark. Let me see if I can make it brighter. Okay, here we go. Here's our list of prepositions that I do not want to write on the board. Is a preposition to say I. Right? Example. Parium. I fruitful. That parium is to say fruits, right? Parium. Right? Ba in Hebrew is as a preposition. It's say in. Ba as in in. Ra'ash to say head. We got Ra'ash as head, right? That Ra is to say Ra'ash, which is head. Maybe the camera's too far away still, right? Let me bring you into my world right here. Right, there we go. Right. Ra, can you read this? Ra is for Ra'ash. All right. Right. And the example, right, is that Bara Ya'ash, it's like a Bara Ash, yes. Right? That is the name for the book of Genesis. And the whole idea is in the head or in the beginning. You know, you could have a head start in a race. I hope I don't sound strange to y'all. You have a head start in a race because it's the beginning. And then your foot, you're running across the line, your foot goes in last because your head goes first and your foot is last. Or you have head and you have tails. You flip the coin, right? No problem, right? Okay. And from that same understanding, from this same understanding of that's on this form right here, right? From this same understanding is how I'm breaking down the Captain Tazar Yuck and the name and how to break down Sar from Captain and how to break down, you know, the form of the name Tazar Yuck and the breakdown of Jeremiah is broken down in that same way that is right here on the preposition form, right, in the head or in the beginning. Okay, good. All right. Da is for do. You don't see it very often, but you will see it if you read that Tanakh on that Sabbath service. Ha, you're gonna see this all the time. Ha is the. Right? My name is Hazahab. That ha in my name is to say the. Right? Or General Hazayan. That ha in his name is to say the. Okay? Wa at the beginning of a word is to say and. Ya at the beginning of a word is to say he. Ka at the beginning of a word is to say as or like. La at the beginning of the word is to say to. Ma is to say of or from. Right? That ma is a good one too. The ma in my yum. Yum is the sea. Ma is to say water is from the sea. Okay? Whatever way you want to look at it, water is from the sea. If it's in the mountains, it's from the sea. If it's from the vapor in the air, it's from the sea. If it's from the rain, it's from the sea. Right? When you study that work, right? It's from the sea, right? Sha is whom, which, that, or pertaining to. There's a breakdown. Sha mayam. Sha is pertaining to water. That which is or pertaining to water. Right? And tha is you. Right? You. Right? It's not written here, but it can also be she. Right? You go look at the parts where Rachel's talking. That thought is to say she, and it's to say it should be here too, right? It's not written here, but you know, there's other forms that we had that when I was learning, where the thought is used to say future tense, what you're going to do. All right, go ahead, Tazar.
Is it Shamayim heaven?
Shamayim is heaven. Right. So remember, you know, in Genesis, the Lord divided the two waters. One water was the sea, and the other water was the air. You know what I mean? Without water in the air, you can't breathe. All right, you need a certain amount of humidity. If you go to the mountains where there's low humidity, they say you will lack oxygen, you just die, right? There's not enough water up there, but it's still water up there, but you can still breathe. You just need an oxygen tank every 30 minutes or so. I learned that from watching a documentary about the brothers in Ecuador, right? Where they go high up in the mount. There's a mount in Ecuador where they go so high that they need an oxygen tank every 30 minutes if you're not used to the elevation, right? Good. What's next? Okay, good. So now, yeah, please.
And Haman.
And Hamania, okay, Hamania is different, right? So your name, okay, right name on the board, right? Ma, Mao, Naya, right? Good. You have a word called, are you excited? Your name's on the board.
No.
Okay, all right. Huh? Oh, you can't see it. Maybe I gotta get a better pen. Hold on. One. Right? One is the word that comes up as harmony. Harmony. One is harmony. Right? Now, people who sing in harmony or talk in harmony, they are not just one person, they're not two persons, they are what you call a multitude. A multitude of people, and I'm saying multitude because that's the Bible language. The Bible language, they would use the word multitude to say a crowd. Right? And there's a crowd who was getting along, and they come together and they're saying, no, what's they saying? No peace, no, what's the thing they say? No, is it no justice, no peace?
No justice, no peace.
There's another one they say that's more simpler. They say no peace, no something. No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. And I'm talking about it's the say again. What do we want? Peace. Oh, I know what they say. Justice. Where do we want it? No, that's what they say. What do we want? Justice. When do we want? And it's the whole Times Square. I'm talking about the George Floyd protest. Right? Maybe we should. Can we get a video of it? No, we can get a video. Right. You want to get it? Okay. So we're gonna pull up a video of a multitude talking in harmony, and based on that action, we created the word and the word usage to say singing in harmony. Okay. Or if things are flowing along, then we'll say, oh, they're singing in harmony. Right? George Floyd protest, Times Square. George Floyd. Yep. Okay. Okay.
In New York City, protests were held in several.
I want the one in Times Square. Yeah. Times Square, it got a sight. It's a vision. You know, I think it might be better. It's not that we probably do that, right? But it might not be on there. But I remember seeing one in Times Square, and the whole Times Square is ridiculous. And it's from like an overhead view from one of them buildings out there. They're looking higher from the loft in the 57th floor, looking down in Times Square.
The violence and confrontation between police and protesters, a rare moment. After 4 days of violence and confrontation between police and
in unison. I'm gonna tell you another time when we do this. So we sing, we want no cowards in our camp, that will let their colors fly. Woo! And we all singing it in harmony, singing it as a multitude, singing it as a crowd. but we're saying it in harmony, right? Now, now, is there a root to this? Yes, but I don't know the root, right? And I've yet to investigate the root of Hamawan to say how the word was built. Right? One sense would say, I was first remove that Y right there. Let me see if I can do it right now. We got a strong right here. We got a strong right here. If I can find the word Haman and see what Haman means. Right? Strong's Concordance book. Okay. $16 on Amazon, right? That's why I go for the app. For the app is $1.99, right? All right. In the back, you're gonna have the Greek section. It's gonna say Greek. Right? It's gonna say Greek. And before that, you're gonna have the Hebrew section. Right? And it's gonna say Hebrew. Right? And before that is the English, where you're going to get every single word in English in alphabetical order and the occurrence with scripture in the Bible. Right? But we want the Hebrew. I don't want to go to hard. It's going to be the same alphabetical order as the Hebrew chart sheet. So ba, ga, da. It's not going to be A, B, C, D. It's going to be ba, ga, da, ha. All right? So we are in Ka. Ba, ga, da, ha, was ka, tayaka. Let's go back. Here we go, ha. Okay. So I'm in a section of the ha's, right? And I look at where are we in harag. Harag means to kill, right? That's the word to say harag. Not murder. Murder is ratazak. It's two different things, right? If you see thou shalt not kill in the Bible, it's not this one because this is the lawful one. And people ask me about that all the time. Killing in the Bible, thou shalt not kill. The law does not say this word. This is the word that you do when you go to have war. You go to war with someone and you might kill them. People get confused about that, right? Good. The one in the law says thou shalt not murder, right? Ratazak, right? Ha. Here we go. Ha ma haman. Okay. Hold on. Hamala hamalak hamam. Disturb, discomfort. Okay. C1995. 1995. Here we go. There we go. Hold on. Is there more than one? Hama 1995. Okay. So let's go look at the weight of this because it's a little bit discomforting. Okay. There we go. We can see it properly. It's a little high. I got it for the board. Can you read this?
Yep, now it's good.
There we go. Haman. And then it comes from another concordance, 1993. Let me see what 1993 is right quick. It's from so Haman is from Hama. Right? Hama. So Hama is the verb to make a loud sound. Like the English hum. So they're saying if you say hum in English, if you say hum, it's from the Hebrew Hama. And it looks like you got another root concordance too again. 1949. But we're not going to go there right now. I'm going to go there in a second, right? After we get the Hama one. So Hama is a sound. And then, right, we're going on to Haman. I'm trying to just coordinate the camera, right? Haman. Right? So now then it's a noise. So now the noise is to name the sound. Haman is the sound. Haman is to name the sound. So that they put the na on the end there. The na is to say you made a name. Haman is to name the sound, right? Good. And this noise is from a tumult. The noise could be from a crowd, right? Okay, an abundance of people, a company of men, many people, multitude, multiply, right? Then they give it all of the usages of it that a black man would use. That's why they got all the definitions that don't sound right, because metaphors and similes go a long way, right? Good. And where's the other one? 1995. 1995. Okay, there we go. All right, good. And then from there we have the word Hammer 1, right? Right? Hammer 1 from Haman, right? Good. Now we want to see that 1949, right? 19. It said 1949. Let me go to 1949 over here. Hawam. Hawam. Say again.
A permitted root to make an uproar or agitate greatly, destroy, move, make a noise.
That's a Hawam or Ham.
Hawam.
Okay, go on. So they're all in that same kind of region. I got it right here too. 1949. Are you looking at 1949? Okay, go on. So this is going to put on the board what you just mentioned, right? So the whole idea, out of all the things that you're looking at, you want to look at the thing that is the noise, right? So it's to make an uproar, and that's Hawam. Hawam is to make an uproar, and yet there's a wa in there. That wa in there means I got to get the root of that. I think I saw it over here a while ago, right? Right. That's how you got to keep going through the tracing the root of any word, right? Right. 1992, and then we got hum. You narrowed it down to the hum, and that hum, you want to look for the one that is more like a noise. Oh, it's right up here, 1991, right? From the abundance. All right. I'm not sure where they're getting that. I'm really not sure. Right, but it's a lot. I know it's a lot to take in, right? But the whole idea is that it's from a noise. And I want to say that Strong's is a key. Commander Johanna always told us that these books are keys. These books are not the truth, right? So even this, we're taking this as keys. Hum is the noise. He just told us that hum is the hum that we say in English. Whatever research he did to say that, there's something behind to say, you say hum in English to make a sound. And they're saying that Hebrew word hammer and hum is where the English hum get that from, right? Good. Okay. Good. So hum. Hamana, right? Right? Okay, good. Okay. We brought out the preposition before. Y'all say he. Right? Is that time again, Yatazo? Is that time right now?
8:30, sir.
8:30 right now? Okay, right? So Jeremiah from Jeremiah. That Yah is a preposition to say he. We had a list of prepositions a while ago, right? That Yah is to say he. The Yah in Yasharallah is to say he. Let's put it on the board too, right? Let's put Yasharallah on the board. Let's go all of the Yah names. You got a question? Yeah.
Yeah, can also mean my.
At the end of a word. So at the beginning of a word is he. That's a very good question. At the beginning of a word is he. At the end of a word, if there's no H, that word is mine. That the possessive is mine. If there's a ha at the end, in a name, then that word is not mine. That word is God. Right? And of course, people who may have been exposed to a little bit of fake Israelitism in the world, you got a Hebrew name, and based on how you've seen fake Israelites write their names, if you respect the fake Israelites' name, right, more than how the name that UPK gave you, you alter your name to look like the fake Israelites' name by writing the H at the end of your name. Like if you wrote Hamania and you were to put a H on the end of your name, it's not because we told you that it's to spell it with a H. It's because you saw fake Israelites do it and you respect their words more than our instruction of the name that we gave you. The name that Commander Johanna gave you, you didn't respect it, but you respected all of the broads of Zabak. or the broads of, I don't know if they even got broads, who they, so it's one of these people got broads, right? They never sit together because, they're not people we should follow and make an example of being an Israelite. But you respect them and you form your name after their way rather than the way that we told you. Teach the Hebrew. All right, no problem. Go ahead, Maria.
So it would be like they're calling themselves God.
Yeah, they're trying to make their name have God in it, because it's just the thing with Christian women. Say again, Tazar?
It's Christian.
It's very Christian. It's absolutely Christian, because a Christian woman is always trying to make herself closer to God than you. Because remember, Jeremiah Hammond at the class yesterday, at a slamming class yesterday, and he was breaking down how some people see numbers everywhere in colors, and they think God is talking to them. So now when she comes to talk to you, she said, "You wouldn't believe this. God told me to tell you this." Have you ever heard that before? God told me to tell you that you are going to have a wonderful life and that you should not give it a black or Latino boy. You should get a white boy and have a better life. Yeah, the advice to young black girls and Latino girls is to get a white man because you will get a better life. Say it again? It definitely is a mental illness to think that God is talking to you when it's you talking to you. As if you don't have your own thoughts. As if you don't have demons. Like, as if the Bible don't talk about demons who talk to you consistently day and night and give you the wrong advice and make sure that you do wrong by Satan's will to make sure you do wrong. And to make sure that you look silly and that you do not look like a wise nation before the world. Where there's a voice that talks to you, and that voice is not the Lord. As a matter of fact, that voice has never given you a good marriage. That voice has never given you good health. That voice has never given you good friendships. That voice has never given you good families. That voice has never given you good habits. If you don't believe me, go ask Carl. All right? On the bus. Come on. Right? It's a real thing. So it's a pestilence of Christianity in New Jersey, New York, New Jersey neighborhoods. That's why the UPK gotta get out there. We gotta get the UPK. You should share this. Share the videos. Share the documentary with Tyler Oliveira. Share the documentary with Tommy G. Share the documentary of us from Vice TV. If it's still out there, I know it's still out there. People, they told me they still watch it from Vice TV. Right? Share the classes. Subscribe to the channel. Look for Commanding Junior Hana's radio show every Monday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday night. Right? And share it, man. People should hear this. People shouldn't be in the dark. And here's the burden that you have right now. If you don't share it, you're the reason why the people around you don't know. When you value this, and you value God, and you notice that you found the word of God that you've never got in those places, and you won't share it with them, shame on you. Shame on. And here's the thing: the Lord counts it to you. The Lord counts it to you that people around you that love God too, and that they wish to know God, and you have found the truth about God and won't share it with them because you're scared of their reaction to the thing that you're giving them. As if the Lord's voice and his message doesn't trump over civilians' opinions. All right, good. Let me get some breakdown of some names. We got this name, Israel. What did they say? Isis, Ra and El. Isis, Ra and El is Egyptian. Let's not be dumb. Right? The breakdown of Israel is not Isis, Ra and El. Right? The breakdown is the transliteration. Oh no, we got the book from Yale, right? Our favorite book from Yale. That book from Yale is a very expensive book, more expensive than books on the shelf. That book should be in a very neat and tight place, not as a.
It should be right there, so the chip.
Should be right there on the ship. Okay, there we go. There we go. We go to right. So this is our favorite book that Commander Junior Hana always brought out. And the men after him, Jeremiah. I've heard this breakdown specifically from Jeremiah. I've heard General Hazayan teach at a later time. I heard it at a time when I didn't understand nothing. So I didn't note it down. I didn't know how important it was until General Hazayan brought it up some years later. Right? This book is from Yale University. And I was like, oh my gosh. Really? That's the thing that everybody's complaining about. Everybody say, oh, the UPK made up their own language. The UPK made up their own language. How can you have a language with no vowels? You only have R and I sounds? That's a fake language. Indian languages have the same thing right now. If you go right now to Jersey, they got a thing called the Shawaramayawa. It's on a sign, and they write it out. You know what I'm talking about? You never seen before? You ain't even paying attention. Just go out the Lincoln Tunnel, right? And take that 95 of that Lincoln Tunnel towards the 95. You're gonna see signs right off the 19, off the turnpike. And you're gonna see things that say Wa, Ra. Well, and it's long too, like this. Maya. And you're gonna see a long, it's an English letter like this, and spelled just like this. I'm like, damn, that was a Hebrew. But it's not Hebrew, because that's not Hebrew. But they got a language in Indian that is they sound like this. You know what I'm gonna do next time? We'll take a picture. That's why John Muhammad says always take videos. It's very key and fundamental. Okay. We go to the page to break this down. We want to go to the first page. Right? Number one, from via Yale University. Right? Originally, in the origin, meaning in the beginning, only the consonants were used. There were no vowels in Hebrew. There was no vowel to say Boker Tov. There was no vowel to say Shalom. Shalom. Yeah, none of that, right? Here's the key. Ha is A, Ya is I or E, Wa is O or U. That's the transliteration. So Ya is I, right? So if we got I in Israel, that I in Israel is Ya. So we got the Ya, the I right here. We bring the I down, and the I is Ya. Okay? That S right here is Shah. Right? The R right here is the R again. Right? And that L right here, you see this with the more people. The more, they love this L. Oh my gosh. El Shaddai. El Shaddai. Right? That El Shaddai is how you get Allah. Even in the Arabic, they call it Allah. As a matter of fact, told my Arabic, let's go get the father of the Arabs, Ishmael. Ishmael. Right? The I again. I, remember, Yale University said I is Yah. Right? And then that Shah is Shah. The M right there, bring the M down. The R is to say I, Shammai. And then the L is to say Allah. All right? Good. Allah. Let me see if we can get some more colors on the board. I'm very far away from the chat. Please forgive me if I cannot see anything you guys are saying. I'll definitely check it in a minute. The Allah is to say God. Right? God, power, authority. God, power, right? Authority. Right? Authority, right? Okay, good. Shammai is to say here. Right? Let me not complete Ishmael before Israel. Right? It's the wrong thing to do, right? Shah is to say prince. Right? Prince. Right? Yah is to say he. Right? Can you see this okay? You have to start on the board?
Cut out a
A little too far, man.
You see it.
Okay. Okay, there we go, right? Good. So Israel, Yashar Allah. Right? Not Yashar Allah. He prays God. And mind you, in Israelite names, there's no spaces in the Israelite names. We don't put a space here and say Yashar and the space Allah. That's fake Israelite business again. Don't do that. Same thing with Yashamayal. Right? Write it out. Let me write it out for you. We read it like this. Yashar Ah in Syrian Hebrew, right? Yashar Allah. You write like this. One word. Right? Not a space. That's not. I'm trying to tell you how to love. Per Jonah Mahaiman, because he's the one that said it to me, right? There's no space in Israelite names. That's not our culture. Do not bring the traditions of men in this house. All right, you will divide us. Next thing you know, we're gonna argue about, your name and your name. Okay, just do what's in the records. Right, all the longest names. Yahawashai. You need to put a space between the Yah and the Hawashai. It's not that, right? Okay, who else? Any name you mentioned, right? Our names are not like Native Indian names. Native Indians will put black foot or red tail, and they put it because of English. I don't know how they write it in their own language, but they'll put a space in English to say red tail. All the names will be like that: black foot, black crow, red tail, fox head, bat, bat, they have their names, right? And they'll all be like two things. Our names is sort of like that by definition, but not written like that in our language. All right, our names are written together. Okay. If I write Ishmael's name down here too, right? But right there. If I write Ishmael's name down here, Yah, Shah, My, Allah. It'll be written like that in one go. Right? No spaces included. It's not our way. All right. Okay. Yashamayala. He heard God. That's what Yashamayala's name is, Ishmael. All right. Abraham's firstborn son. And after that, they don't hear about God no more, because God don't talk to them. Allah does not talk to no Arabs. All right. Allah is not going to save the Palestinians. Allah is not going to save the people in Dubai. Allah is not going to save the Saudi Arabians. Allah is not going to save the Iranians. Allah did not save the Afghanis from the Afghanistanis from Desert Storm. Who saved the Afghanistanis from Afghanistan? Right? The white man. The white man came with a plane, and them Arabs were on the wing of the plane and under the wheel and fell down in the middle of the sky. And Allah did not catch them. And they were not recorded to have any curse or punishment by the Lord for their disobedience. But we were. So when we disobey the Lord, all these things happen to us. Right? But when we obey the Lord, oh my gosh, I'm talking about the sea opens up for us. I'm talking about we go up in, things come out of the sky and take us up into rooms in an aircraft in the sky. Moses said, it's either we go through the water, or the Lord move the mountains and open the mountains up so we can walk through the middle of the mountains, and the mountains close by earthquake upon the Egyptians. That was what the Lord was suggesting to Moses, or no, rather, what Moses was suggesting to the Lord. Right? Good.
2 questions in the chat.
We got 2 questions in the chat, and the Lord didn't do that for no Arabs. The Lord did not split no Red Sea. He didn't bring back to life no dead people like Moses did. People want to say, oh, the New Testament's fake, because how can Jesus Christ heal a dead man? Moses healed dead men. Is it wrong when Moses did it? Or is it fake when Moses did it? No problem, right? Moses is real because Egypt is dead today. It's a desert today. Pharaoh is gone today. Why? Because of Moses. That's why you can look at the Giza pyramids and there's nothing, and it's just a desert and a pile of dust. Let me get a question, please, Yatazar.
From Isupk Indianapolis. How do you say willing? Feminine.
Okay. The masculine and feminine is confusion brought from the oppressor. Don't think of it as feminine, right? The word willing, it's like, again, black talk. You have the word, let me put it in the middle of the board here. I'm gonna erase the Jeremiah, right? Remember now, right before we get there, he, Yah, Ram is exalt, Yah is God. No space in the Hebrew. No space in the name. No space in Jeremiah. Not J and Rem and Ayah. There's no space. Not all J, Rem, and Ayah. None of that, right? That's not, just holding into our culture so we know what's going on, right? If I be allowed to teach what's, this field, that was given to me, right? The Hebrew, right? Just so we can understand what's in the records. You want to know willing, right? You have a Hebrew word say, run. Run, Forrest, run. I never watched the movie. Forrest, right? What movie is that? Forrest Gump? I've never watched Forrest Gump. I don't know what's in it. I just know that Will Ferrell stars in it, I think. My bad. Ra-Tazah. Ra-Tazah. Good. There's a place that you need to go now. And there's a place that you don't care about going. Right? Which one do you walk to? Which one will you run to if you are late? The place that you need to go. You will run there. Because you have the will to get there on time. But for the movies, you might say, I don't really care about that movie. I don't have the will to really chase after that thing. Right? So that run became the word to say will. It's just black talk, right? Then you have running. Remember, Y like an ing, right? And then you have running. Running. You have Ra-Wa-Tazah. Ra-Wa-Tazah. I put that Y in there. Put that Y in there. That Y is to say ing. Right? Ra-Wa-Tazah. Right? Usually, you see, depending on the context, right? If you want to say Lord willing, then you say Ratazah. Right? Lord willing. Lord willing. If it be your will. Lord willing is more so like saying if it be your will, right? Okay. If I say willing, so doing it, but you're not saying what he's doing. You're saying, you're saying what you want. So we Ratazah. We got a prayer where it's in there, right? Ratazah Nawa. Ratazah, that's the Lord's Prayer. I'll see where my classes be a little, full of the element. We got to pull the things from everywhere.
Maybe something in between, no?
Could be. I think so. But I think I've seen it here. I could be wrong. Right, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Where am I at? Thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Here we go. Ratazayaka. When we say Ratazayaka, right, that's to say your will. Okay. And how do you say willing feminine? What do you mean by that? Do you mean how a girl would say it? Is that what it means? Like how a girl would say it? Okay. Okay, so if you want to how a girl would say it, they will still say this. If you want to say her will, then you would say, I don't think that's easy. Is he saying the Lord's will? Okay, if you're saying her will, then you if you're looking in the scripture, say her will, you'll see this. You'll see if I write it in Assyrian, right? So you can bring it to memory. You see Ra, and then you see the Taza, right? Ra, Taza, and then you see Ha, right? Because this Ra, Taza will be this right here, and then that Ha will be her. All right. Once again, see.
Check.
Drew Santana. You remember Drew Santana? Mike check 1 2 1 2. He's from Harlem. He's from around here. He's really Spanish. Say it again.
Shruggers, I asked a question, sir.
Okay, what was the thing we just said a while ago? Okay, her will, right? So her will, if she has more will than the next person, she runs and the other person doesn't run. All right? Floyd Mayweather is a good example, right? Floyd Mayweather, he made sure that he wanted this boxing thing. And he trained, I believe that he trained like every day his whole life, based off his dad, right? To get this thing. And he was able to dedicate himself to the practice of boxing, to the craft, to end up with no injuries, more than the other brothers that were not as willing to. So of course, Floyd Mayweather came on top, minimal injuries, and now he brought up half the blocks down that way in Harlem. Right? I think the Harlem or Midtown or somewhere, right? Shortazar. What's going on there? Shortazar. I believe Shortazar name means crawl to walk. Shortazar, what your name mean, man? Put the definition of your name in the chat, Baba Gashar, just so we can know what Shortazar means. You know what I mean? I've seen that word in Leviticus 11 a long time ago, but words are metaphorical in our culture. You see what I'm saying? I know our words are metaphorical in our culture, so one thing means another thing. Just like how we had Ratazar, run, but it then meant will. All right? We had harmony. We had the Hamawan from hum, where it says a noise, and it became the word to say singing in harmony and being in harmony and oneness. All right? Good, right? You got a lot of that, right?
He said to walk in truth.
To walk in truth. Okay. What was the question before?
His initial question is, sir, how do I pronounce Nadai? I believe there's an I.
Okay, Nadai. You pronounce it Na Die. What does it mean? Is it to me? Is it to say that we know? Is it Nadai to say we know? Is it another thing? Nadai. I'm not familiar with the word Nadai. Yeah.
Sir, can you break down the name Nadai? He gives a reference. I see H3365 was not Nadai.
Okay. One more time again. H what?
H3365.
3365. 3365. Right here. Jaquar. Right. I know. My brother's wife is named Jaquar. I think it was Officer Nakamiya's wife in D.C. I think her name is Jaquar. That name was given to her to be named Invaluable, something like that. Invaluable. It was one of my first Hakonikers. And I seen a sister get given a name for the first time in the school. All right. Camera's a little high. Jaquar. I want to leave it at this. I'll still leave the camera. It's okay. I just want to try to get it on this camera here. Bring it back like Yetazar advises and bring it in. All right, 603, bring it down. There we go. Yaquar, a primitive root. To be heavy. Right? Why? In what sense? This is not heavy like kabad. It's heavy in the sense of valuable things. Valuable. Cause to make rare. Cause to make rare. Be precious. Be prized. Be set by all. Shorters, I was calling me for a name earlier. My gosh, Shorters, man, I've been so busy, man. So lucky. Damn. I wonder if it's in my phone. You came as not the name of the work in the class. I respect it. I respect it.
It means he said good reputation.
Good reputation. Okay, I see it right here. And the other name you had was Zariah. Right? Nadai. Okay, so let's look up Nadai right quick. Nadai. Okay. Reputation. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the word from here, and then I'm gonna plug it into the Hebrew app on the phone, and I'm gonna see the usages in the. That's how I do with the names, right? 9 o'clock. Okay. Okay. I don't even run out of here right now. I know. You going to the reservation tomorrow? Okay, come on. La man, I understand. Okay. Nadai. Let's get the Nadai and then we out of here. Not Naka. La manasa Nazar. Nawa. Nada. Nadab. Nad. Nadai. La manasa I. Patiza. La manasa I. Da. Ha. Ra. Nada. La manasa. I Patiza. La manasa I. La manasa. Nada. Nadan. Nadana. Nadab. La manasa I Patiza. I don't see it. Shrataza. I don't see it. Where did you find the word right quick? Shrataza. I don't see. I might be overlooking it. Am I overlooking it? This is where I'm stuck at right here. If you maybe I'm overlooking. I'm tired too. I didn't sleep last night. I worked to make garments. Oh, Shrataza. I'm working your garment too. Coincidence. I know. I'll wait for you to come back from Haiti though. All right. Well, I am definitely working on your garment. I got the material that you asked for and everything. Let me go back out and come back in. All right, good. So we got that Nadan. There's alphabetical order we're going alphabetical order on the third one, right? Unless you mean Nadaya. It depends on where your source. Not saying that you're doing this, right? But make sure for anybody, right? Make sure that we're not trying to find things on Google Translate. We had a lot of people, not a lot. We had a few people that were given wrong language names via Hebrew Google Translate. Nadaya, lamanasa aipatizakwa. Nadaya. Abagada, hawaza, katayaka. Nada. I don't see it. I don't see it, shorters. We might have to skip on that and we talk about it on the phone, shorters, all right? I don't see it. So like nadab, nadaba, nadabak, nadad, nadayab, nadan, nadap, nadar, and then it goes to say nah. I don't see shorters. So like, forgive me. Forgive me, right? All right. So that wraps it up. I hope everybody understood the lesson today. If there's anything that you did not understand, please next week, Lord willing, if I'm teaching next week, I'm honestly trying to not teach right now based on garment department. Passover's coming up, guys. You gotta make garments, right? And I got wonderful teachers that were raised up by the Lord under Commander Johanna in the school. Sha'atwan, right? He's a little ill right now, but he's taking all the notes that was passed down from my superiors, right? And we're gonna write this Hebrew thing out. Anything you wanna know next week? I might teach next week, right? Just bring the question next week. Anything, just think about it and write it down. Bring the question next week. If anything, ask Sha'atwan. If he doesn't know, he'll bring it to me, right? Because we have consistent communication. Just my brother from my fellow cross tribesmen, right? Cousin tribes, right? Ephraim, Benjamin, sons of Rachel in the building. Man, but Rachel. So it's like it. We got all the 12 tribes. All right. And with that, Pastor Clarence, the priest and officer, 5,000. All right. And I'm going to greet to the brothers, I'm going to say Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai B'Gatham, and to the sisters, Yahweh Shemalathan Ba'ashim Shai Shalom.